Hey everybody, today I'm going to take a look at the Western Digital My Passport Essentials 500 gigabyte external hard drive, and this is USB 3.0, so we'll get to see if how much speed improvement there is over USB 2.0 here. I was not planning on buying an external hard drive, but I noticed my internal hard drive started making clicking noises, so I decided it was time to invest in an external hard drive. This was about $80. Ordered it through Amazon, through a third-party JNR Music something or other. And they took a really long time to get it to me. Shipping was very slow, and as you can see, the box is somewhat damaged, so I'm not very thrilled with the company or the shipping, but let's open this product up and test it out and see how it runs. So, here is the boring opening the box and trying to figure out how to get this thing out of here part. So this thing is tiny. Like, I'm surprised at how small it is, especially compared to a hard drive I've been using previously, it's probably 3 or 4 years old. This thing is incredibly tiny. Like that, look at that compared to my hand. That's smaller than the size of a passport. It's really tiny. I mean, it's amazing. So it's definitely like a portable thing, so it doesn't have a power bar, just USB, powered through USB. Nice shiny finish, feels very light. It's 0.31 pounds, they say, and it's like 4 by 3 inches, so this thing is really tiny. Down here you have a very short USB power and transfer cable. Also have tech support manuals, and that's everything that's in the box. So let me plug this into the computer and I'll run a few tests on it, and also try plugging in my older USB 2.0 drive and see what the speed difference is compared. The drive I'll be comparing it to is this Western Digital MyBook, which is a monster, which is probably 3 or 4 years old. Alright, so I have the hard drive plugged in. Right now you can see the activity light on there. Pretty cool. I have it plugged in currently to a USB 2.0 port, and we're going to test the speed on that, and then I'll plug it into one of the USB 3 ports and see what the relative speed is. So I've created a file here using Diskbench that is exactly 10 gigabytes. So I'm going to just drag this from this hard drive on the computer, which is Samsung SpinPoint F3, 500 gigabytes. Drag this over to the Western Digital drive and see what Windows says the transfer rate goes as. So whoops. Here we go. Okay, so right now it says Windows says going 126, 105 megabytes per second, 85, 81, 71, 62, 57. So it keeps dropping. About 45. And still dropping. I'll stop this and wait for it to finish and then tell you what kind of the average was. Alright, so it started out really fast, but then went down to about 35 to 40 megabytes per second, and stayed that way for the whole time. And so now I'm going to plug it into the USB 3.0 port and test the same exact file, transferring it, and see what kind of speed Windows reports it getting this way. Okay, you can see it's plugged into the USB 3.0 ports, and let's drag this. Starting out 146, 109, going down 87, 90, 80. $76. So it seems to be hovering above 70 megabytes per second right now. 72, 73 here. And that's what was it at before? 30, 33, 35? So about double the speed. So yeah, it's staying above 70 megabytes per second. So it's at least, I mean, they claim USB 3.0 is 10 times faster, and I mean on this hard drive they claim 3 times faster. So I don't think it's all the way 3 times faster, at least in this situation, but it is at least twice as fast, which is still a huge leap. And especially if you have USB 3.0 capabilities on your motherboard and you're in the market to buy an external hard drive, USB 3.0 is definitely the way to go, just because you do get a good amount of speed increase. So let's run some tests on Diskbench now. So here I have Diskbench open, and I'm going to copy the file from the desktop, 10 gigabyte file, to the hard drive, and use this to test the average speed. So let me start this. This is probably going to take a minute or two, so I'll just stop this and turn it back on when it shows results. So after running Diskbench, it shows up transfer rate. I don't know if you can read that, but it's 66.19 megabytes per second, and this is still with the USB 3.0 plug. So let me plug it back into 2.0, and we'll do the exact same test and see what Diskbench reports as the transfer rate. Alrighty, you can see it's back in the USB 2.0. And same setup, copying the 10 gigabyte file from the desktop over to the hard drive. This is USB 2.0 now, and I'll just stop this and start up back in when it shows results. Alright, so the results show 28.51 megabytes per second, which is less than half of what we're getting with USB 3.0. So two figures match up. I mean, with Diskbench, went from 66.29, and we were just transferring the file, it was 70 to 73 megabytes down to 35 to 40 megabytes. So you're not going to get 3 times the performance boost, at least with a file this size, this kind of situation, but you will get double the speed, which is still a very nice advantage. And I don't think I'll bother using the older USB 2.0 drive, because this is conclusive enough. You can see you can see the difference between USB 2.0 and 3.0 since the hard drive works with both. So that is my review of Western Digital My Passport Essentials 500 gigabyte USB 3.0 hard drive.